So welcome back to Music That Doesn't Suck, the place where we talk about music that actually doesn't suck for a change.
Yeah.
And today we're gonna be talking about bands that are so manly, so freaking badass, so almost JCB DJ Jean-Claude Van Damme level of badassery that will make you grow a good chunk of hair out of your chest when listening to them.
Or perhaps of a very thick mustachio.
Yeah, at least. At
Yeah.
least. So, before we go into it, let me introduce you to Stony and Brave, and it gotta be something beautiful. Dear women, say hello to the girls and the boys.
Hello, girls and boys. How's it going?
So Stony, so brave,
Yes, very
but
glad you're
not
back.
necessarily beautiful today. From time to time.
I have my days.
Yeah.
So, very glad you're back and it's great to have you here as well. So, yeah, now that you already brought Jean-Claude Van Damme into the conversation,
Yes.
do you want to get us started in what will be the musical equivalent to Jean-Claude Van Damme?
That's actually a great question. Which movie?
Let's go Bloodsport.
Bloodsport.
Yeah, because it's the quintessential Van Damme movie.
Bloodsport, I Mine.
Hold it for a second. Hold it for a second.
Okay.
Introduce us to today's mix.
Oh, today's mix. Okay, actually, today's mix is going for something strong and powerful. This is the traditional Manhattan, which is comprised of whiskey, vermouth, and Angostura, just to close the deal. And it's, if I recall correctly, 2 ounces of whiskey. It should be rye whiskey. I ran out of rye whiskey, so today is Irish whiskey. Whiskey is single malt. I know how they are, but whatever. And it's not necessarily gonna be that different. There is a difference, but it's not as big as what would happen if you were to make one with a Scotch.
Hypothetically speaking.
I don't know who would do that. And of course, just to garnish it with a cherry in it. I know, doesn't sound manly at all, but if you have never had one of those before, it actually hits.
Yeah, it does. So,
That's it. Yep, I like it.
yeah, very good.
I like it. Yes,
It's a very classy drink.
it's classy because
Yeah.
it's tasteful, but very alcoholic.
Yeah, it's
And the flavor is quite strong because it's just alcohol. And
Yeah.
pro tip, whenever you're at a bar, if you are asking for a drink that might be not necessarily speaking that aggressive when it comes to the taste of it, the flavor, go for something that has fruits in it, a little bit of juice, because that kind of mitigates a little bit the power,
The
punch of the flavor, not of the alcohol, just the flavor is a
Yeah.
little less abrasive, if that makes sense to you.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was my alcoholic tip. Now, going back to that question,
Yeah, so-
Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport, what would be the band that would be good for that movie? Gotta be 80s. I think Dokken.
I think it fits.
It does, right? Because
fits.
it has the right amount of cheese,
Yeah.
but the right amount of badass, the right amount of damn, that was a little bit too much, but it's never enough. Get me?
Yeah.
I think it's a good pick.
I think it's a good fit because it's a movie, or Jean-Claude Van Damme as a personality.
Yeah.
Is all about fighting, but with a charm that goes way beyond aggression.
Yeah.
Because it's actually not necessarily the most, how can I put it? That's not violent, the word that I'm looking for. It's just that
The thing is that he doesn't look threatening, man. He's
Exactly.
kind of one of those pretty boys guys.
he's not Rambo.
No, he's not Rambo, man. Yeah, and usually his roles is usually the pretty face guy.
Yeah.
Get me? So
In the dance. No,
Yeah, everything.
We actually look at
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Look at this.
Totally. Agreed.
So yes. But I think Dokken has the right amount of anger to it to be badass.
Yeah.
But I think it's not cheesy enough.
No.
Being quite honest. I think it's a good pick, but it's missing some cheese.
If we compare it to Rambo, for example, I think a good fit for Rambo would be Sabaton, obviously,
Yeah.
or something a bit trashy, like Anthrax. I don't like Anthrax, but something like that, doesn't it?
Rambo trashy. You think it's that-
Metallica, old Metallica.
Metallica actually fits.
Old Metallica,
fits.
yeah.
Old Metallica, big
yeah.
distinction, yes.
Before the Black Album. Yeah, because you get that kind of aggressive, kind of not necessarily welcoming sound, but with heart.
Yeah, just gotta kill them all.
Yeah, kill them all. It's actually a good pick. So now, what would categorize a band for to make you grow some hair in your chest, on your chest?
Look, let's try to break it down, because I think it's clear enough that it has to have some balls to it.
Yeah.
Okay, for the lack of a better word. You know, everybody knows when we talk about music being ballsy.
Yeah.
Even though it's not a very objective description, everybody
No,
knows.
it's like a combination of aggressiveness, heaviness for wherever that is, because we know what heavy is, how it sounds like, but we don't know how to describe it. If you know, do your best. Try it. It's hard to define, but we all know we can concede what sounds heavy.
Yes.
So it's aggressive, heavy, metal, where that means as well.
The thing that metal, I wouldn't necessarily put it as a
I mean
defining
metal.
point.
I mean metal as, or I refer to metal as something aesthetical speaking, not necessarily sound like.
Yeah. It's
Of
not
the
necessarily
genre,
to be metal
music, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Just the aesthetic of metal, and also there has to be some form of danger to it. Don't you think?
Agreed.
Okay, so in that vein, what will be your first pick for a band that will make you grow a bunch of hair?
I think I'm gonna bring a band to the conversation that deserves to be more conversations, because very underrated artist, and it's probably one of my biggest picks when it comes to music that is badass.
Yes.
And will make you grow some of that. Jorn.
Okay, you're on who?
Jorn Lande, or however it is pronounced.
From Norway.
I think it's Lande, isn't it?
I think it's land or land, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because in English, if you ask Siri, it's gonna tell you, well, it's gonna answer back as land. But I don't know, because it's from Norway, so please, for those of you Vikings, can you tell us what's the proper pronunciation of his name, by whatever?
Yeah.
Bjorn.
So,
Why?
fantastic rock artist, hard rock metal.
It's hard rock because he has some interactions with the people, some of the members from Helloween in the band called Masterplan.
Yeah.
And that one is a little bit more on the power metal. That's actually power metal.
Yeah.
With a little bit of hints of progressive rock elements, but it's mostly power metal with a little bit of hard rock.
Yeah, but his solo stuff, which is actually the
Full
one
on hard rock.
that I'm actually more leaning towards, he has some metal moments.
Yeah, but it's mostly like a modern version of Whitesnake without the sexy factor.
But it's heavier than
It's
White
heavier
Snake.
than Whitesnake.
Yeah.
It's heavier than Whitesnake.
Yeah, and it doesn't have the sexy, but it has the.
There is that. There is that. And
Such a great singer.
yeah, fantastic singer. That's probably, of course, that's his biggest asset. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He's a singer for every band that he's part of, and why wouldn't he? And if you happen to be his band member, why wouldn't you have him singing?
Yeah.
Because he's one of the best rock singers probably in history. A great, gifted voice. Particularly speaking, his timbre is very kind of raspy.
Yeah.
He has a natural raspiness to his voice, but he has a terrific control over his vocals.
Yeah.
He has a very, very expansive range. He's one of those. He's probably the last singer that still kind of keeps up with the mantle from Ronnie James Dio.
He's highly inspired
He's
by.
highly inspired by him, but also his sound is similar to his David Coverdale, all of those badass singers from decade past, and he began, if I recall correctly, in the late '90s. So he's no longer he's not just a little boy,
Yeah.
but he's been around, but he's not as popular as he should.
No. And look, even though it's easy to praise him as a singer, I think he doesn't get enough praise as a songwriter and composer.
Yeah,
Because his music is excellent and is extremely badass.
I agree.
And I think even he's already underrated as a whole and overall, but I think he's even more underrated as a composer, because he even within the circles that know him would usually praise him only as a singer.
Agreed.
And he said that his music is so good.
He's excellent. He's an excellent composer. His music tends to have this powerful, ballsy, kind of uplifting tone to it. It's not necessarily happy, but it's not depressing.
No.
It's aggressive, yeah, I can give you that. The song that comes to mind that totally is gonna grow you like millions of hairs in many areas in your body is Life on That Road.
Yes.
Badass. If you wanted the truest definition of what badass is, That song.
The entire album is good, but that song
Well,
truly, the album is
damn.
called Life on That Road,
Yes.
and it's all good, great. But that song truly is the highlight.
Probably his latest, I think. Released in
I think there's another one.
2017. Oh, yes.
There's another one.
No,
new.
but the thing is that he's been re-releasing his stuff as in a huge compendium.
Mm.
Probably that's the one you saw, because they remixed it, and since they are doing the whole thing with mastering it for the newer standard for
Yeah.
Spotify and stuff. Minus 14 loves. Don't ask me why. Just play by ear. Yeah. So most of his stuff was listed in the highest point of the loudness war. So you can imagine that. Yeah. So. Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to Jorn yet, do yourself the favor and go check him out.
Recommended album for you to get started with his stuff. Out of Every Nation. Out of Every Nation, I think, is a great introduction. Fantastic track. The title track is just awesome. It's one of my favorite songs ever. Because that one is also badass. It's shorter. It's more on the F because Life on That Road is like, damn.
But that's fast. That's a sports car.
Yeah, but the thing is that Life on That Road is like, damn, this is and Out of Every Nation is like, yeah.
Big difference.
I don't know if it makes sense. You know, because you know the songs. And try to do it then.
Look, just listen to the songs and you'll get it.
You'll get it.
You'll get it.
Because the thing is that one is Out of Every Nation is powerful in the sense of making you feel mighty. And Life on That Road is like, god damn,
It's
this is
simply badass.
This is just badass.
Yeah.
Guitar solos galore.
Yeah. Don't know the name of the guitar player that works
He
with
has
him.
had several guitar players, but all of them excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And that the guitar prowess, the display of guitar prowess in that song, damn,
Insane.
it's insane because it's the solo section is no. It's unbelievable. You cannot describe it with words. It's just badass because it kind of reminds you of all of the badass guitar solos from the 80s. Think of David Lynch. David Lynch is the director. George Lynch. Dawkins, but also John Sykes. All of those badass, not necessarily super over fast, but with great taste.
Yeah.
Looking cool guitar players with a little bit of Eddie Van Halen flair and a little bit of Steve Vai as well into the mix for those solos.
Yeah.
They're a little bit more they're not acrobatic, but they're like damn face melting solos.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yes. And when Jorn comes back, because he's the start of the show, he steals the show again. When the vocals kick in after the insanity that was the guitar solos. The vocals are. This was even better.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Somehow the vocals are better than the guitar solos. Yeah, so totally recommended. Fantastic artist.
So
And
your pick now.
wait, one more recommendation from Bjorn. He's been part of several different mega blockbuster, not blockbuster, but
Not that much.
super groups. One of them is Ark. That's his foray into prog rock. Oof, great band. Only one album, Burn the Sun. Even the title is badass, and it kind of has that's more metal, but on the prog element.
Yeah.
Also, he got his insane collaboration with Russell Allen. 3 albums, not 4. Allen Land or Land. I don't know.
Two of the best
Singers ever.
Ever.
Russell Allen from Symphony X.
Yeah.
God damn it! When I saw that as a kid, how could that be possible? And it was, and I hold it with my hands because I have CDs. Yeah. So damn, excellent. Yeah, those are more on the power metal slash not commercial rock, a little bit more straightforward, less dramatic. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit more on the not affordable, approachable territory. And then he has that particular album that is called The String of Death. That's a conceptual album. That's about Dracula and him looking for a girl, which is lonely. So totally recommended. Totally recommend.
And one of the we can spend the whole episode on Jorn, but we're gonna move on from Jorn in a moment. But the thing is that we can mention that album without mentioning I Can Walking on Water.
Walking on Water,
which is I think is the second song in the album.
It's the second song.
And it's one of the best guitar tones in history.
It is.
And the guitar tone alone already can grow chest hair.
Yeah, just the main riff.
Yeah.
When it kicks in, like
Yeah. The first drum or
yeah, you boom, and then like, ladies, yeah, no, it's like that.
so good.
It's like that. So please do yourself a favor and listen to that badass piece of music. Look it up on YouTube. It even has a cheesy music video. Walking on Water.
I haven't seen
So
it.
you can imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, excellent band. Now I was thinking of once again JCVD. If I were to pick a band for him in a different movie, but from the same period, it would be, because I think JCVD he deserves his own episode.
Okay.
But honorable mention, Crimson Glory.
Mm.
Crimson Glory, it's also fitting for JCVD.
Okay. He has the badass factor.
Yeah,
He has some cheese.
plenty,
Yeah.
but the right amount.
Yeah.
But the thing is that they are a little bit more on the intellectual, without being disrespectful to Dokken. No, you know what I mean, because the music is a little bit more on the. It's like more Pink Floydish.
It's grander in scope.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. Yeah, grandeur. Yeah, that would be the word. Yeah, but that's an honorable mention as well. Great badass band from the late '80s. People not necessarily speaking know about. Some of them know them, but since they didn't have that big of a long of a career, and they happened to be wearing masks at the beginning of their career, making it look like hair metal. At the very tail end of the trend.
They got kind of a bad rap.
Bad
in
rap,
the very beginning.
non-deserved. Then they removed their mask. They released Transcendence. Fantastic album, totally recommended. Everything about it is awesome. The sound is cheesy. The mix, it sounds like the 80s, man. But wow, the music is fantastic. If I can recommend you a song, what's the name? Lonely. Lonely tonight. That song is so good. So yeah, that's one of those chest hair growing songs.
Okay.
Okay.
But that was a honorable mention. It
Yes.
wasn't a proper.
Now let's go for something a bit more aggressive. After introducing Jorn, how about something evil?
Like what
Look.
you have in mind.
It could be. I was thinking of Abbott or Amon Amarth. Amon Amarth is a little bit more on the commercial side of things. I agree, and it's not evil. It's more on the adventures.
Yeah.
But it still is like badass.
But look, these two picks that you just presented are interesting because even though Abbott is heavier,
Yes.
I feel that Amon Amarth, for us being more commercial as is, it actually grows more chest hair than Abbott.
It's because Abbott is more obscure. No, it's not. It's more darker.
It's dark. It's way
More
too
dark.
dark.
It's darker. Sorry,
Yeah,
darker.
I think it's way too dark because of course it's super heavy. And it is mainly. It's not something that is.
No, it's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint of testosterone.
But I think that the whole atmosphere that's created by Amon Amarth music is way more ballsy. It's way more. I think it has the more hair growing effect.
Yeah, I agree. And look, the thing is that Amon Amarth is a little bit more on the. For those of you who don't know, Amon Amarth is a band that it's basically is not playing Viking metal. They are playing death metal with a lot of speed metal elements and plenty of heavy metal as well. Classic traditional heavy metal from the 80s. A little bit of, plenty of Iron Maidenisms, plenty. Probably that's the reason why I like them so much. With guttural vocals, not necessarily a fan of those, but they make them work perfectly.
Yeah,
They fit the aesthetic correctly, and everything they do is basically Viking inspired. Even their shows have long boats and stuff in the back. It's kind of cheesy, but it's fun.
No, but I think they embrace the gimmick in a way that is fun.
Yeah, because they know that this is kind of stupid, but let's have fun with it. Yeah, and I have been to some of their concerts. Great band live. Some of the solos are a little bit too hard for them. No, jokes aside. No, they're great musicians, all of them.
The drummer is incredible.
The drummer is incredible.
He's great freaking drummer.
Way too good. Please listen to the music. You're gonna enjoy it. My recommendation for an album. They have been around for a good while, so there are plenty of albums. But the most popular one is Twilight of the Thunder God. Why? Because the song Twilight of the Thunder God is just mwah! And it was, I think, if I recall correctly, the solo was recorded and written by Alexi Layo from Children of Bodom. Who passed away later, I think. Yeah, whatever. Correct me if my metal history or my metal lore is incorrect. But it was one of the later material that he released. Fantastic guitar solo. It's probably the best part of the song. And the song is excellent.
On a scale of hair growth, where would you place that song?
If we get the Tobey Maguire, no, he's way manlier than any of the other Spider-Man.
Yeah, because the new guy, what's the name of the new?
That kid.
Yeah.
Who is like 30-something years old, but he looks like he's 15.
Yeah, and he's everywhere now as well.
Yeah, that kid. I can say him. But let's pick that guy as a new Spider-Man, Summer Spider-Man, versus we were saying Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
Magnum PI, plenty of chest hair. Being the top, I would put this guy Tom Selleck being the obvious 5.
Yeah.
These guys would be 4.
4?
Yeah.
I think you would be higher.
Why? Man, there is only one Tom Selleck. You cannot be Tom Selleck.
So we're gonna leave the musical equivalent to Tom Selleck for the end then.
Yes.
It's gonna be the final pick.
Hopefully, because I don't know. I can't think of a band that is that chest hair rolling. Whatever. Yeah, but okay. But coming back to Monomart. Yeah. But if I were to recommend you an album, War of the Gods.
Okay.
I know it's Surtur Rising. The song War of the Gods. That song is the best song by Amon Amarth in my not so humble opinion, and the album is very good. But as a whole, as an album, Twilight of Thunder God is a much better proposition because it's a super consistent album.
Okay.
The entire album is very good. It's filled to brim with bangers, and all of them are very good. But in my opinion, the other album is better when it comes to music, okay? But as a body of work, Twilight is a much better proposition, particularly for those of you who would like to dive into their music. Great band. Just mind you, you gotta remember that they have guttural vocals, that not everybody is that. That some people are kind of finicky, aren't they?
Yeah, man. Look, even though I think there's a place for it, and on their music, I'm not a fan of the style. Being very
Me neither, but damn it,
there are ways to do it,
Yeah.
and I think that Amon Amarth does it correctly. I
Yes.
think it fits within the aesthetic of the music.
Yeah, I cannot imagine their music having a clean singer.
Yeah, makes sense there.
Speaking of clean singers, Camelot.
Would you
Would
say
it
that-
grow? Wait. Look.
Okay.
Look. If we can accept that Dracula is badass, if we can accept that Charlie Mang is badass, if we can accept that D'Artagnan is badass, I think Camelot is more on the D'Artagnan.
Yeah.
Of course, obviously, because I think there are types of badassery.
Yeah.
Because you not everybody's Arnie. But look, I'm gonna use much more current references. You can be badass like Rambo, which is full on. Yeah. Then you can be badass like Arnie, muscles. One is a strength of character, one is a physical strength.
Yes.
And then you can be suave, badass like JCVD.
If you put the three together.
Is it possible? No, man, the
know.
world explodes.
Yeah. So we're not ready to handle such a
Well,
badassery.
it turns into freaking Bruce Willis.
No, it's Steven Seagal.
How freaking dirty. But no, but look, I would say that Camelot, it's like the suave, badass.
Yeah. I agree, but does
the
it
romantic one,
grow? Does it grow chest hair?
Yeah, because what grows more chest hair than chicks? Think about that.
I can't counter argue.
No, think about that, because Whitesnake falls in the same category.
No, but Whitesnake has the danger, has the sex.
Yeah, but Camelot is dangerous, but in a gothic kind of cheesy, corny way.
It's kind of nerdy.
It's nerdy, but man, there are nerdy girls. Is the girls that are like into vampire shit and stuff?
But would you say that Ghost is badass?
No, Ghost is not.
Chest hair growing.
No, Ghost is not, but Camelot is.
But Ghost also brings in the chicks.
Yeah, but not in a manly way. It's a joke.
So they're just friends.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. Don't kill us. It's just a joke. I'm trying to be funny. You get me, right?
Yeah.
No. But coming back to Camelot. Camelot is a power metal band. Yeah. Allegedly, I think it's much more of a prog rock band than wherever, with plenty of power metal elements.
Yeah.
Fantastic singer,
Yeah.
badass guitar work, excellent drumming.
Well, because the singer changed at a given point in time, right?
Yeah,
Because
Roy Khan
is the singer.
is that singer.
But the other guy that came in afterwards was also very good.
It's very similar.
I don't know his name.
No, me neither, but it's very good. And they have been quite consistent with the quality of the albums because the newest albums that they had released are still very, very good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
I recommend Heaven from the newer batch. And if you were to go for the OG stuff, go for Karma.
Such a good album.
That's just perfect.
Yeah.
Karma is excellent. Has plenty of overly sing-along songs.
He has badass songs.
Badass tracks. That's
Yeah.
why I think of him as being a badass, but more on the. He's the good-looking guy who happens to be badass.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's like the guy. Yeah, it's like I don't know who's good-looking.
there should be someone.
There should be someone. The Spanish guy. What's his name?
What Spanish way?
The Puss in Boots.
You
You know that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's nice. I like him. He's fun. Antonio Banderas, man.
Banderas.
Yeah, he's a mariachi man. Of course, he's badass.
He's badass.
But he's that kind of badass.
And actually, in mariachi, okay, I can see the correlation now.
You see, because he's the one that is like, okay, I grant you the rank of badass because somehow you manage to do it, and you do it in that particular way that he's the manly, but with care.
Yeah.
You got me right? I don't know how to describe it, but it's that kind of manliness.
Yes, before crossing the line of metrosexual.
Yeah, he's right there, which is still manly.
Yeah.
It's like you're playing it risky.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
respect that. Yeah.
Because look, even David Coverdale,
Yeah, he's that.
even though he is clearly a badass,
Yeah.
he's almost there
Almost
on
there,
those
like,
lines.
You're way too pretty, man.
Yeah.
Knock it down for a few hours, man. Yeah. But he's that kind of badass, man. And it's almost like an archetype, man. It's Prince Charming. Wielding swords and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's your Seal Galahad. Or Galahad. Yeah. It's kind of that. It's that archetype, man.
Yeah.
Because you got Percival, the big one. That's your Rambo, and Lancelot is the badass. Don't. I can do everything. You got me? Yeah, because Lancelot is a super cool guy. Yeah.
Look, now thinking, there are some singer bands that actually manage to make badass music, but it doesn't necessarily have badass singers, for instance, which is usually it's kind of a clash. Because I was thinking of Dio.
Wait! How dare you?
I no look.
I know his.
Look at Dio.
My finger's is taller than him.
Look at Dio.
Rest in peace. Love
He
him.
doesn't look like a badass, but his music is as badass as it gets.
But look, when it comes to him, I saw him live. I can tell you that he managed to look bigger than he actually was.
Yeah.
His stage persona was way larger than life. Probably because I'm a fan, but also because the way that he carries himself, or used to carry himself,
Rest in peace.
yes, was with such a confidence, man. With such he controlled the stage,
Yeah.
and he did it in a way that very few singers and musicians can. Why? Probably because he knew how good he was,
Yeah.
and it was fantastic. So I think he was badass in his own right. I know what you mean, because if you know who he is, you look at him like, how could this guy be a metal god?
Yeah.
Because he is.
The thing that it feels like his music is way bigger than him.
It's his performances, man. Because his voice is powerful. You can't believe that the guy was short in his stature, because his voice is so that I don't know how to describe it. Best singing version, best song, which his voice on, because he has been part of several bands.
Yeah.
Not only his solo career.
But anything by him is excellent.
But which one would you say is the one with the baddest?
Look, I am particularly a huge fan of Rainbow with Dio. Those two albums was
Rising and
Rainbow Rising and Long Live Rock and Roll.
Yes.
The two albums are
Masterpieces.
fantastic. And you can go wrong. Any song that you pick out of the two
You
albums,
can go randomly, like trying to find a clean spot in India on Google Maps.
and you're gonna land.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's gonna give you the same one.
I I love every single song is great. I love Tarot Woman.
Okay.
I don't think it's the best song, but there's something about it.
Because in my case, the baddest moment of Dio singing, last in line. We're coming. That's
so
like,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, no, his voice is huge.
Yeah, but in that point,
Yeah.
oh yeah, fuck it. Damn it! What a great band, and what a great musician.
Yeah, and that's no wonder he inspired everybody that came after. Because any self-respecting rock singer that came after is inspired by Dio. You gotta be.
And he's trying to do some Dioism. Yeah. You gotta do him.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, where are you?
Yeah, he became staples to the very genre.
Yeah, he defined the voice of a rock singer.
That's
legacy.
legacy.
That's legacy.
Freaking Dio.
Yeah, moving over to another badass singer, David Coverdale.
Yes.
Fantastic. Huge fan of
But
him.
more on the suave again.
Yeah, he's more on the because Dio is more on the crusading knight. Obviously, because his music's all about fancy stuff. But David Coverdale would be the not what the word I'm looking for. The one that came to me is not correct. He's the play. He's kind of like the romantic warrior, if you wish. Great album, by the way. By Return to Forever. That's totally not badass music. That's jazz fusion, but whatever. Chick Corea, yeah, great. Whatever, he's romantic warrior. Yeah, but he's more on the romantic side of things. He's like the seductive.
Yeah, but there's badassery.
Yeah. Because, again, what is more chest growing than girls? And Whitesnake, and Deep Purple for that matter.
Yeah. The thing is that Whitesnake is like Deep Purple with sex appeal.
No, but it's also that plus less, a little bit less intelligent. If that makes sense. Don't attack me. Huge fan. I am probably one of the biggest fans of Whitesnake ever. I happen to own all of their records. I love him. I just rebought forevermore, like for the 5th time, because somebody, whatever, looking at you, Apple Music, whatever. But the difference between the way that the music is written in Whitesnake when compared to Deep Purple is massive.
Yeah.
Because Whitesnake's music is a little bit more playing it safe. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's more on the streamlined, the straightforward music, rock music, badass, and you can pick wherever era. Because if you go to the early Whitesnake records, one song that comes to mind that I happen to love to the team is "Help Me Through the Day." That song it's slow, it's not ballsy, it's not heavy, and it's kind of romantic, but it's in such a way that makes you feel manly. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it exudes this what girls love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It feels like a. It's not a dude.
No,
it's a man.
It's a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get me.
Yeah.
And it's a song that whenever I have played to a girl, they like, that was excellent. Yeah. But I always try. I always, because it helps, but also because it kinda has that particular because it kinda has that particular mood setting thing, right?
Setting the mood for what?
For
for music.
For music.
No, Whitesnake. The thing is that the sexy element in Whitesnake cannot be ignored.
Denied.
It's a big portion of what they are actually.
Yeah, actually, because you think of 1987. Their most popular record.
Yeah.
Every freaking song that you have ever heard and been annoyed by Whitesnake comes from that album.
Wait, give me a second. Even though some of those are extremely overplayed, and I will have to agree,
I never get tired of them.
they are way too good to be be bad.
Yeah. Because even freaking that's also on the Whitesnake album. I see what you did. Well done. Great album, by the way. Good to be bad. It's somewhere here. When it comes to their music, for example, 1987, even freaking Hero Go Again, a song that I truly don't like,
is the most overplayed.
Somehow, and I truly don't like that song. Believe me.
You're wrong, but okay.
No, I don't. It's because it doesn't sound like Whitesnake.
But it's a good
too
song.
happy.
But it's a good song.
But it's happy. Here I go again. Like No, man. No. I can see why people likes it. Because it's fun. And it's actually very well crafted. It has plenty of heart. And it works. It's a great song. But it's not Whitesnake, man. Because in that same album, you got The Still of the Night.
Yeah.
That's badass.
And it's a tough one to beat.
Oh, man. Beat that one. And even Freaking Easy's Love. Fantastic ballad. That's a ballad that to rule them all.
Yeah.
You cannot go more rock ballad than that one. And if that's not badass, don't know what's wrong with you. For real. Because you can see that being badass is not just being the muscles. You need muscles in the rest of your body, not just in the biceps.
Yeah, so don't skip leg day.
Don't skip like that. I was thinking about something else. That has much better results than
Yeah, but let's keep
it PG. No, but
But look, In the Still of the Night is actually a badass song.
yes,
Like badass. No damns given, no
No,
questions asked. It's badass.
proggy structure, long,
Heavy.
as balls.
Yeah.
Fantastic guitar tone, insane drumming,
Yeah.
freaking vocals like wow.
Yeah. It takes every single
Yeah,
box.
great bass lines, memorable bass lines. Guitar solo galore. What else do you need? Just damn.
That's it.
Damn. Yeah. And Whitesnake and that album in particular would be a good way to show you that the archetype of the good-looking badass. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Because it's the martini.
Yeah.
It's the martini.
Yeah,
It's a suave-looking, kind of elegant-looking drink with tons of spice and punch.
And actually, this is Whitesnake.
Yeah.
Actually, Manhattan.
100%. Just because they drink wine. Levi Coverdale is a big wine drinker.
But regardless, this is more
But
fitting.
I get you, and I agree.
Sophistication, sexy,
It's sophisticated. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
but carrying a punch.
Carrying a punch and being dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's yeah.
No, I think it's very good.
I agree, man. I agree,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. Now listen to them. Yeah, excellent. What will be your pick?
Let me see for another one.
Think of John McClane. Kinda John McClane. Because John McClane would be like getting shit done.
Yeah, let me see.
And GPKA.
It needs to be something a little bit more straightforward, but that delivers on the yeah factor.
Highwayman. Because of the GPKA factor.
Look, it came to mind, but it's gonna be thrown as a question, not as a.
Is Johnny Cash bad?
No, AC/DC.
Oh.
Do you think that AC? Because I think it's kind of like
No.
John McClane.
They are badass. Yeah, no, AC/DC is a badass band. Yeah, and you grow chest.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think it delivers on the chest hair department.
Yeah, I agree because it's aggressive. It's more on the party hard, kind of badass, right? But with responsibility. Yeah, allegedly. No, but it's like the danger of going nuts with pairing.
Yeah.
But the thing is that also brings Van Halen.
But Van Halen, for as cool
Van Halen
as it is,
it's more feminine, right? And again, if you take that as an offense, what's wrong with you, man?
look on the Zoomer Spider-Man 2 Tom Selleck scale.
Yeah.
I think what's the name? What's his face? What we're talking about now?
AC/DC.
No, not AC/DC. Van Halen. It's
Halen.
kind of like Pierce Brosnan.
Okay.
It's good enough to be a 007, but it's the least
Dangerous looking.
dangerous looking 007.
Yeah. Okay, I can agree. Oh, damn it, because I have a hard time not hating Pierce Brosnan as James Bond.
But he's not a bad James Bond.
No, but the thing is that probably because the movies were so corny.
Yeah.
They backflip the shark, man, with those.
Yeah, they did.
Probably, yeah, because I don't know if he's bad, and that's the thing.
I don't think he's bad. There are better James Bond movies. Yes.
And the video game helped a lot, man. So
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know, but yeah, the thing is that Van Halen is also because if we look even Ghost. I was joking about him, but the thing is that Ghost reminds me quite a lot, certain elements, to Crimson Glory. I prefer Crimson Glory over Ghost any day of the day. Yeah, I said it, but that doesn't mean that Ghost sucks, okay?
The compositions are way more.
They're enough.
Very,
They have
yeah.
these more ballsy element. And look, Ghost is similar to Van Halen in the sense of them being a little bit more feminine in the sound of their music. I know that Hot for Teacher is badass. Yeah, that song was like, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
it's so
Right?
good,
Yeah, what a great track. But Van Halen music tends to be a little bit more on the softer. That's why I'm using feminine. The same what happens with Ghost. And since we're thinking of this kind of macho thing,
Yeah.
For as much as I love those bands, they don't necessarily fit the bill.
No, I don't think
Those,
so either.
in that element.
And look, I think that it's probably the gimmick aspect as well, because Van Halen, once again, for as good as it is a band that relies quite heavily on certain gimmicks as well. When it comes to the whole acrobatics, there are many things there.
The energy.
Yeah, and it's adding to the music. The music is still center point to everything, but they are enhancers. And I feel that it lessens the manly factor when you rely too much on gimmicks. Look, I look at Ghost, for instance, and I feel that if he was manlier, he wouldn't need the makeup. Okay. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, I get you, because speaking of makeup, Kiss? No. No.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Kiss is fun. And I would even say ballsy. The music is ballsy.
At times.
It's high energy. But no, I wouldn't say that it grows any chest hair on you.
No. Agree 100%. Yeah, because the thing is that anything glam metal could be. Def Leppard? No.
Don't think so.
No. Motley Crue? The thing is that Motley Crue...
Yeah, on the scale it goes, what, 3?
I don't know. Because look at them. No, look, the music, if it was just by the music alone, get it.
Music alone, yeah.
But the looks, man. It's a little bit...
Music alone.
Yeah, music alone.
Yeah.
The thing is that White Snake, same era.
Yeah.
Look, just put them side by side. Nah, man.
Where would you place Led Zeppelin?
Badass.
Yeah.
Badass. No questions asked.
Okay.
Badass, but more on the old mentor.
Okay.
Get me? Because I consider them to be from the Jurassic period.
Yeah. The ultimate classic.
It's the ultimate classic. It's more about that because of course they were relevant all the way down to the even 90s. But active, not relevant forever.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah, but probably because they're so classic rock. To me, they sound like it's like Deep Purple. Deep Purple is badass. Yeah, but it's more on the Deep Purple is the wizard.
Yeah.
Get me?
Yeah.
Deep Purple would be the wizard. We should have one episode on which we use the Carl Jung's archetypes.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
You would.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, we can come up with that one later. Yeah, but for me, if you got your Gandalf in Deep Purple, the Led Zeppelin would be like the old guard, the hero of the previous age, the mentor, like your Obi-Wan Kenobi ghost form. Get me?
Yeah.
Not hello, good there.
Such a cheesy moment.
Yeah, but
Hello there.
Hello, damn. Setting the mood correctly, man. What a train wreck. But we're
and those are the good ones now.
the fact that those became good, shit. Worst timeline ever. But yeah, coming back to Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin, badass, both of them, because Perfect Stranger by
Deep Purple. Yeah,
that's heavy as well.
it is.
That's full on metal. Then Highway Star, badass rock and roll. That's the lead fast, die young, sex, drugs, and rock and roll stuff.
Sports cars and
Badass.
Yeah.
It's the same what happens with rock and roll by Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, it is.
And look, even both of them kind of have similes, because you can think of Kashmir as something similar to Perfect Strangers.
Yeah.
Kind of like.
Yeah. But Perfect Strangers is such a good song.
Yeah, both. But
Kashmir as well, but Perfect
I like Perfect Strangers better.
Yeah.
Agreed, because it's a more complex song. But that doesn't mean that Led Zeppelin doesn't have that. And actually, Led Zeppelin, damn it, they kind of fit all of the archetypes, don't you think?
They have range. They have range because
they can go.
Stairway to Heaven is more wizard-like.
Yeah. But also you got the seductive elements on more sexier songs.
Yeah.
Also you got the manly romantic take on the more sad ballads.
Yeah, they have quite a lot of range.
Yeah, maybe that's the reason why they are so important.
Yeah, they earned their place. They did.
Yeah, no, 100%. But they like never stop to think about it.
Yeah.
Because like they're basically everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of impressive.
It's remarkable. Yeah. It's remarkable. Not that many bands are able to claim such a.
Would you say that Pink Floyd is badass?
No.
That was a very fast snow. That was the fastest snow in the West.
No, for God's sake. Nah, come on. Why would it be badass? Great, love Pink Floyd. One of my 3 favorite bands ever, but no, they're way too nerdy.
Look, how the hell have we gotten to this point in the conversation? We haven't mentioned Iron Maiden. Come on, man. Come on, man.
We already mentioned even Sabaton. No Iron Maiden. Yeah, good point.
Iron Maiden is badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not even a question.
Yeah. So,
Fanboys and yeah, but Iron Maiden, no, badass. Everything about him.
and he grows chest hair,
Yes.
actually.
Just being a fan. You don't even need to listen to the music. Just being a fan of Bruce. Yeah. You're 10 times manlier than yesterday.
What's the most chest hair growth-inducing album out of
Iron Maiden. Look, I'm gonna. Great question. I think Spyro Slave, everybody knows that, but it is the heaviest. But the thing is that let's expand upon that. The thing is that you got, for example, Somewhere in Time. That's your Warhammer 40k variant. Is your face Warhammer 40k face?
Our fantasy.
Yeah, but future, in the far future.
Yeah.
But balls, man.
Balls.
Strangeland. Caught Somewhere in Time. Damn, Alexander Great. Damn. 2 minutes to meet that good
Banger
dog.
after banger.
Yeah, but whatever. Then you got Power Slave, things that Ace is High. Is the first track on that freaking album.
Yeah. And it's such a hard hitting
You
song.
cannot be manlier than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because harmony. Okay, I'm not stupid. It's intelligent. I think it's the badass harmony. Yeah, fast and singing everywhere.
Yeah.
And super sing along. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
The chorus is so good. Yeah. Yeah, it's Power Slave, man. It's the ballsiest album, in my opinion. But if I were to pick their best, everyone knows that it's Seven Son. Yeah, that's a fact. It's a freaking scientific at this point.
Yeah, but it's definitely not their balls.
No, because that's them doing reading some Aleister Crowley and Manly P. Hall and going a little bit more on the hermetic route.
Yeah, because it's quite proggy.
It is, and also very daring. The compositions and even the soundscapes are, because they clearly are fans of Pink Floyd, man.
Yeah.
But their music never fit a Pink Floyd thing until then.
Some stuff.
They attempted before, because you see that in Somewhere in Time, because the songs in Dylan are longer, and they have always been kind of proggy, because you got all From Peace of Mind, the Number of the Beast, Hallowed by Thy Name.
That's
badass as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the Number of the Beast alone, for as overplayed as it is, nobody stopped that song when it gets started. Not in my watch, at least.
Yeah, why would you?
Not there. It's heresy.
But look, we're getting to a point where we need to choose.
Who's the manliest?
Who's who's gonna grow more chest hair on anybody listening? Best manlier band ever. What would be your pick?
Look, first honorable mentions, or just to avoid the bullets. Pantera, Anthrax, Megadeth, Dimmu Borgir, so on and so forth. Yeah, I agreed. We're the bands we discussed were the ones that came to mind. Okay, so don't shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of the ones that we mentioned.
Or you can pick another one.
No.
You can go either way.
No, the thing is that right now I'm very, very laser focused on the ones that we discussed.
Yeah.
I think depends on what you are looking for when it comes to your manliness journey.
Okay.
If you need to be respected by other men, like earning honor, I would say Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
Or Jorn. Get me?
Yeah.
But if you are there to earn the right to procreate, Whitesnake. No questions asked.
Yeah.
So, no questions asked. And the problem is a little bit of Led Zepp. Somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah, they covered all the bases.
Yeah. That's like, damn, those guys are basically the archetype of the archetypes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those would be the picks, because I think, and if you're going to war, a Monomart
Sabaton.
or Sabaton, yeah, but Sabaton's about war.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So what were your picks?
My pick is actually gonna be a band that we haven't mentioned. Why? Don't know. But we gotta.
Autism.
We gotta. Black Sabbath.
God damn it! Yeah, how could we forget?
Yeah, nearly an hour talking about badass music, and we didn't bring Black Sabbath into the conversation.
Yeah.
How dare we?
All of the iterations.
Yeah, but now comes the question: which iteration?
There is obviously just one answer. It's Dio.
With Dio. Yeah.
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 But
No, early Black Sabbath. I think
it's more heavier. It's a little bit more aggressive.
Ozzy Osbourne is a very interesting figure, because
We didn't mention him as well.
but look, the thing is, with Ozzy is that even though by some marketing reason he's the Prince of Darkness, his stuff is actually kind of fun, kind of.
Yeah.
Of course, he has dark sounding music.
No, but dude, come on! Don't tell me that Shot in the Dark is not badass. Tank,
Paranoid.
No, but that's Black Sabbath.
Yes.
No, Ozzy Osbourne's by his own. Shot in the Dark. It's heavy as balls, manly as F.
Yeah.
There's Shot in the Dark.
That song's awesome.
Yeah, and also Randy Rhoads. Come on, man. And then Zach Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is that Black Sabbath, what kind of chest hair does it grow on you?
The mystic, evil, the one that when you are out for revenge, but you are summoning the forces of darkness to acquire it. It's after. Oh look, I'm gonna correct myself.
Go.
Which one I said that Deep Purple is when you're reading? Oh no, it's Iron Maiden reading Manly P. Hall. Yes. Black Sabbath is you reading Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
The Dark Arts.
Makes sense.
Yes.
The thing that Black Sabbath is darker than it is ballsy. It is ballsy.
Yeah.
But I think it's more on the dark side than it is badass. It has badassery to it.
Yeah, good point, because it's more on the evil. Because badass, well, the mob rules.
Yeah.
That alone, and freaking Heaven and Hell. Come on, man. That's badass. That's like, yeah. And speaking of that kind of rhythm, where the hell is Alice in Chains?
I think we're gonna have to.
We sucked. We gotta.
We did. Look. The very starting point of this conversation, the thing that got us into the badass music, we didn't even talk about it.
Which was
Rebel Yell by Billy Idol.
Oh yeah.
That was the whole beginning of this conversation.
Yeah, Billy Idol, 100% guaranteed badass. Yeah, but we should have.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have this conversation.
Yeah, we will have again. So, final comments.
So, no, I think this is actually a fun conversation to have. And jokes aside, I miss when music was more like that.
I agree. Yeah, because it was tongue in cheek, right?
Yeah, because outside of the gimmick of this conversation,
yeah,
I think this is something that is missing on modern music.
It's like the bravado, right?
Yeah, and that kind of...
Yeah, let's bring that on, man.
Yeah, it was great having that as part of music. Why don't we do it anymore?
Because not everything has to be sad or depressing or kind of way too sentimental, man. I get it. We, for one, we suck at writing sad, depressing music or angry. But I get it. But come on, man. Rock is what it is thanks to those acts and that particular take on looking at the world.
Yeah.
And it's very human. It's a very human thing to do, because it's like, imagine a world where we didn't have something like, I don't know, Kate Bush. It's feminine.
Yeah.
It's totally the antithesis to everything we discuss here.
Yeah.
And it's excellent. And we need that kind of music. We need both energies in equal balance, man. And
yeah, your Bjorks, Kate Bush.
Yeah, all of those. Even Cranberry, super girly music. Yeah, but it's good music. It's not for me, but it has nothing to do with girly. It simply doesn't resonate with me.
Yeah.
Being girly is the future.
Actually, just to make my final official pick, because I think it's interesting that you brought the feminine side as well. Janis Joplin.
Yeah, that's badass.
A woman who's badass.
Yeah, I agree.
Because she's full on badass.
Yeah, no, her music is very badass. It kind of has that. Yeah. It's heavy and kind of the attitude. It's more about the attitude, because in this case it would be even a feminine energy, but in a badass way.
Yeah, because it's not mainly music,
No,
but it's badass music.
Badass music, and as you put it, this is clearly a gimmick. This is just for the funsies, but and not an excuse to have a drink.
Of course not.
No, of course not. But I never stopped to think about it, but it actually has a huge impact on our society. The fact that we are no longer having that representation because it became toxic. Whatever that means.
And the thing, it's something that men, in this case men, because we're talking about something that is manly in nature, would naturally gravitate towards.
Also women.
Yeah, no, but
why?
Yeah, of course.
Obviously.
Of course.
Ooga ooga.
No, but what I mean is that it shouldn't be a problem that it is something that men aspire to.
No.
Because look at White Snake, for instance. The whole thing that we already had the whole conversation. We don't need to have it again.
Yeah.
But the sexy, the dangerous factor, that's something that is also part of the personality of the nature itself.
Yeah.
And it should be something that we can embrace without it being a problem.
Yeah, and look, everybody has fun, the right kind of fun, when everybody does their part. Because being to several concerts in my life, the stupid idea of rock concerts being plagued with guys is wrong. It's false. It's usually 50-50, of course, give or take. Sometimes, depending on the band, you get more women than men, and some others like that. But it's usually very, very mixed.
Yeah.
The thing is that the girls are intolerant and they don't go to the front. And that's why the idea of no girl liking rock music comes from, because whenever you see the footage of any of the concerts, only dudes.
Yeah.
Why? Look at that! No singer would go to the mosh pit. God damn it! So obviously, but whatever. What I mean with that is that, in my experience, something happens that it's always kind of is lost in our society. Since rock music, and especially when you go to see one of those badass legacy acts, the people who go to those concerts are in a mood that makes sense. They flow. And everybody's like them.
Yeah.
And the reason why people behave in such a way is because everybody has that in common, the music. Think of, I don't know, Iron Maiden. I've been to several of their concerts, and everybody's always like, the girls are girly but enjoy. You know what I mean? It's difficult to describe. That you see the roles of each of us at its fullest, and everybody enjoys every goddamn moment of it, because it kind of blurs this. It kind of destroys the facade or the falsehood of the life that we have to live outside on the streets, given the current state of affairs and our societal stupid concept that we developed.
Yeah.
And the concert alone helps or serves as the catalyst for people leaving that facade at the entrance of at the venue. Once everybody's in the venue, everybody's just them. And doing what they should do without the social pressures.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad, because you know that it could be like that, and everybody could have fun. I had the chance to live that through my earlier years at bars and stuff. It was better than it is today, 100%. And it's sad to see. It's sad to see. Trying to end this up with on a right note, but it's your fault.
Yeah.
You got me to thinking things. You're right. You're correct. You're correct. And we need both. So please, girls, be girly. Nobody needs you to be different. Just be yourself. And guys, go to freaking gym. I need some steak. Come on.
Okay.
I'll learn how to drink.
I think that's a good note to finish this conversation. We have conversations such as this one every week. So if you'd like to be part of another conversation such as this one and add your own take to the conversation, you would be more than welcome. So subscribe to the channel, ring the freaking bell so you can be notified once we go live again.
Have you realized that it's not regular bell?
It's a freaking
We
bell.
never mention it. We never mention it as being a bell.
It's because
that freaking bell, because we hate it.
we're pissed at it.
We're pissed at it. Yes.
Yeah. So the freaking bell, ring it.
Ring it.
Yeah, with anger.
Yes.
And also, if you want to support this channel even further, you can listen to our music and Apple Music on Spotify, which on a category on a scale of Spider-Man to Tom Selleck.
I would say what's the name of this guy? Timothy Dalton.
So you can also follow us on Instagram and X, where we can be in touch in a more personal manner, and also you can join us on our Discord. The link is going to be in the description, and we can keep conversations going over there as well.
Keep talking about music that doesn't suck.
Yes.
So-
And how to grow chest hair.
Yeah. Just go to the gym and stop eating soy-based food wherever. So with that being said, as usual, the only thing left to remind is that you should never let anybody tell you what to dream about. And remember that we will see you when we see you.